All right, it's a special day. Here I am in Sandy, Utah at the Southtown Auto Mall. I used to work here as a Nissan salesman, and exactly 7 years ago, I wound up leasing this Juke Nismo. I think this is the exact parking spot, or very close to where the Nismos were parked on that day. I'll never forget the first moment I got in this car, and mind you, it's extremely filthy right now, I apologize, but first time I ever got in this car, I was amazed by the interior and the seats and the steering wheel and the shifter, and I was like squealing with delight just sitting in this car. The funny thing is, I thought it was just part of my training to go test drive it, but I was being trained by the best car salesman in Utah at the time, Braden Bunce, total legend, but he wound up selling me this car while training me. He's such a good salesman, he sells cars to everyone, but yeah, he got me into this car. So, at this point in its life, it has been a rough 7 years. My front bumper area will not currently go back on. I rear-ended a lady last December, and I did mess it up pretty badly. And when I replaced the impact beam and the headlight and stuff, I could never get the bumper back on correctly, even with Stuart's help, my buddy. He's the one who really fixed it. So, I just want to do a little recap what 7 years with this amazing car have been like. 7 years has been like. This brake rotor isn't looking great. I'm on all my original brake rotors all around. That one just got torn up because I let the pad go to shit. This car has been ridiculously reliable. Flawless, really. It's at 129,000 miles. It's just about to hit 130. And all I've replaced really is the serpentine belt last year because it was dried up and cracking and stuff. I got that replaced, and other than that, I've just done a few sets of brake pads, a bunch of tires, a bunch of oil changes, and that's all. I've run conventional oil in it the whole time, which is how it came from the factory, and this car has been through some serious shit. It basically has damage on every body panel at this point. This happened 6 years ago, right when I moved to LA, and I never fixed it because I figured it would happen again. This happened just before that, like 6.5 years ago. I was driving Lyft in Salt Lake City, and I actually hit a guy named Bambi with my car. Yes, that's a real thing. A guy wearing a sharp leather jacket was acting like an idiot and like rubbed up against my car as I was leaving with his friends in the car, and it wound up costing his friend about $800 for this little damage right here, which I no longer am too upset about, actually. But a really stupid thing happened the other day. I was at a bar, not drinking, I don't drink these days, and someone smashed into my car with a Ford Super Duty with some drunken frat boys in it, and yeah, they smashed it up pretty well. Bumper is not looking too great. The hatch took a pretty good hit. I might talk to a paintless dent repair guy on that. And then a little scrape here. I was just relieved they didn't rip the wheel off or throw anything out of alignment or break the tail light, and the hatch still closes fine, so it's basically cosmetic. It's unfortunate, but whatever. The right side of the car is in decent shape. Scratch here from when I backed into a bush when my friend Ian was doing a bad job guiding me into a driveway. He was only looking at the one side, not the other, but whatever. Bumper almost pops in over here. So yes, this car has been flawless. I beat the shit out of it. I'm always late to work, or I'm always late to where I'm driving, so I'm always full throttle in first and second gear with this car. Luckily it has the 6-speed manual transmission, so it has held up very well. Of course, I'm on my original clutch, and yes, at 129,621 miles, it's doing very well.
Drive the number 4.
Yep, this continues to be such an incredible car. I absolutely am in love with it. 7 years today, how strange. And a lot has happened in those 7 years, but I've had the car with me every single day, and I can honestly say, aside from a few days I was in the hospital, a couple times I took trips back to New York and had to leave this at the airport, just a couple little trips I've taken where the car has been parked at an airport or something like that. Other than that, every day I've driven this car, every single day, and it's made me happy every day. And yeah, like I said, it's really dirty in here. But this interior is so great. These seats are just incredible. Although the Nismo RS has the super aggressive Recaro seats, these are so comfortable yet supportive. These are pretty much, I would say they're better than those seats in some ways. Additionally, I drove Uber and Lyft. I did about 3,000 rides with this car, this poor thing, and I had a lot of overweight guests, customers, who would not have fit in a Nismo RS seat. There's simply no way they could have gotten in there. So these seats are super supportive with awesome bolsters, but you can still fit large people into this car. It has enough flexibility. So yes. What else can I say here? I love the Juke Nismo. An RS would be great with the limited slip differential in the front. This thing does tend to spin its front right tire all the time. But yes, this car is unmodified aside from an in-gen cold air intake, which I've had for about 6 years. And it makes amazing turbo sounds and sounds great. Although I have sucked up water with it twice, causing the car to misfire briefly. But even then, the car took it like a champion, and it was fine. Yeah, it's such a unique, well-handling car. It frequently gets over 30 miles per gallon. On the way over here, it definitely got like 33 at least on the highway. And it is simply one of the most fun vehicles ever. And I know that's kind of a controversial term in the car world, whether a car is objectively fun or not. People say it about the Fiat 500 and stuff, but this is just such a fun car. It weighs just under 3,000 pounds. It has about 200 horsepower, 197, a wonderful 6-speed manual transmission, and the clear coat is fading terribly on the spoiler, but nowhere else. Isn't that funny? They did a bad job clear coating that. I really should do something about it. But you know, at this point the car needs a lot of cosmetic care, but it's just my daily little beast that I drive around, and it's a long suffering car, and it continues to hang in there so well. I do want to have someone, a professional, get this fucking bumper back on, because it looks like shit like that. But I've been putting up with it for a few months here. Whatever. Overall, such a good car. Oh yes. So even though this car isn't very quick, it's actually quick enough. And at this point I've driven a lot of fast cars on my YouTube channel, very fast cars, and this thing still puts a big smile on my face and has enough performance to get me around. The cool thing is, while this car is only rated for like 6.9 seconds 0 to 60, it actually it doesn't hit 60 in second gear, so that's part of the reason for that long measurement. But I've raced everyone I can with this car, from 350Zs to BMW 335s. Just the other day, my best race was a 2015 BMW 328xi, an F30 328 with xDrive, and we went first through second gear, and we were dead even on a hot day. So, and that car is a 5.5 second car 0 to 60, as well as some other cars I've raced. So the funny thing is, this car is not that quick, but through first and second gear, it can keep up with cars that are much more powerful. I don't know how it does it. Driver mod, maybe. But yes, this car kicks absolute ass, and it is hanging in there so well. Even if it broke catastrophically at this point, I would put whatever money I needed into getting a new engine. The only issues with these cars, occasionally they have timing chain problems, although that was supposed to be remedied after 2013. Occasionally they still have some wear on their timing chain and need that replaced. And the main thing though is the turbo, the oil feed line for the turbo that collapses internally. It's a bad design. It eventually restricts oil flow to the point that the turbo gets destroyed, and that would be about a $1,500 repair to put a new turbo on here, and I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I don't feel like paying to have someone swap the oil feed line, and I don't feel like doing it myself. So I'm just kind of crossing my fingers on that for now and seeing what happens. But the car runs perfectly. It's actually, from the day I got it, it's idled strangely, depending on whether or not the AC is on. Speaking of which, I'm so hot out here. Let's get the AC going. But yep, this car has been my constant companion for 7 years as of today, and I can honestly say it's made my life really, really good. I appreciate this car so much, and I owe it a debt of gratitude for being so damn good. And look at my nice shifter slowly wearing through the plastic there on the edge and on the top. It's so many good times shifting this car. And yes, I'm very easy on the clutch. I even made a video on how to take it easy on your clutch, and my clutch feels perfect. I imagine it'll last as long as I need it to. I think it could make it to 200,000 plus, assuming the rest of the car does. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about what a great car this is. 7 years of daily use and abuse, and this car has never let me down. It is just so good, and it's one of those things, as you get older and use it more, you just truly appreciate it. And I know the bumper is popped off and shit, but it's such a good looking car. I love the style of it. Even all banged up and dirty and messed up as it is in its condition now, it's such a good looking, wonderful, unique little car. So there are a few things that can compete with it, I would say. Very few things. And of course, it has ground clearance, unlike a Focus ST or something like that. It actually has a lot of ground clearance, and I've taken this to some ridiculous off-road spots with its front-wheel drive. All right, well, this is the spot where I first met the car, and now I'm gonna take it up where I went on my first day ever, up Little Cottonwood Canyon on my first drive ever, so long ago. But yep, here's my little tribute to the 2014 Juke Nismo 6-speed manual. It's the best car ever, and I love it so much. Thank you. All right, so I got my dirty little car up Little Cottonwood Canyon, and it's a cool 65 degrees here at Alta Ski Area. Looking beautiful. Oh yeah. Yep, this car is the best. Never lets me down. Gets great gas mileage. Oh, and I did forget to mention, my relationship with this car runs very deep indeed. I actually lived in this car on and off for a few months in 2016, early 2016 in San Diego mostly. But there have been many times I've slept in this car on random occasions, and I'm just a little bit too tall at 6 feet tall, but with the seats folded down I can sort of make it work, but it's not super comfortable. But I've probably slept in this car an easy 60 or 70 times over the years. So I truly love this fucking thing, and it's provided a lot of shelter for me. Oh yeah, I love it.